Assalamualaikum. My name is FARAHAIN BINTI MOHAMAD.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is ZAKWAN HANIF HAPINDI.
Hi, my name is NOOR Aqilah Hanis binti Ahmad DAMARI alias DAMANHURI.
Hi, my name is SITI binti ABDUL.
So, we will start with the introduction first. Sustainability, environment and food production is one of the greatest challenges nowadays. Various United Nations also stated food security as one of the goals in the Sustainability Development Goals. However, in achieving food security, we will have to bear with the consequences of the environmental degradation such as soil degradation, climate change and many more. Hence, sustaining the environment while making sure that everyone is having enough food on their table is a challenging work. Soil degradation can be defined as a physical, chemical or biological decline in the quality of the land or soil due to the poor management or improper use of the resources, which usually happen in the agricultural sector. The estimation of the world population by the year of 2050 is that 9.5 billion. Hence, the food production will be increasing twice the population, and the use of the land also will be increasing. This will lead to the overexploitation of the resources and the deterioration of the quality of the land. Other than that, the inappropriate usage of chemical fertilizers also contributed to the declining quality of the soil, which not only will impact the land but also will threaten the security of the food of a nation. For instance, in China, it has been known that environmental problem is a threat towards the nation's food safety. However, campaigns regarding soil pollution is well left behind compared to the other issues such as air pollution and water pollution in China. Next, I will explain about the issues. Agriculture can be considered as one of China's most important economic sectors. According to World Bank in 2018, it is a sector that provided 7.9% of total gross domestic product in the year of 2017, which shows that agricultural sector in China is very productive. However, while the agricultural sector in China is very productive, it also has implications because the sector uses a large quantity of chemical fertilizers, where Chinese farmers use an average of 305 kilograms of nitrogen fertilizers per hectare per year, which is 4 times more than the global average. This resulted in soil degradation, which led to the declining in the quality of the soil. Now, China is known with the worst severe soil degradation, with more than 40% of its land area is being affected with erosion. In addition, the most affected area in China is in the mountainous areas of central China, where the Louis Plateau being the most affected. Hence, the chemical will be absorbed by the groundwater, and it will give a negative impact towards the groundwater, which will also affect the human health. However, soil degradation is not only affecting the health of the citizen, but also it is affecting the nation's food security and putting it at the risk. According to Chinese Academy of Engineering, every year 12 million tons of grain was estimated polluted by heavy metal. On the other hand, according to Chinese Academy of Science, it has been found that more than 20% of farm soil sampled from major grain producing area failed to comply with the quality standards for the soil. For instance, in Sichuan Basin, 43.6% failed samples were accounted. This clearly shows that soil pollution will certainly jeopardize the food security in China. Other than that, there is a lack of awareness regarding soil pollution and its effects. It is clearly can be seen that the citizens are more aware about the air pollution and water pollution and its effects. Besides, the people also had little awareness, or even worse, zero awareness regarding soil protection and the remediation. A lot of policies and environmental regulations in China focusing more on air and water pollution. Also, the rules and regulations regarding soil protection were generic and cannot be used to be established as a comprehensive soil management.
Now, I will explain about the mitigation soil degradation in China. What option they do. So the first option is to have a strategic principle in managing land. In dealing with the problem of soil degradation and soil pollution, it necessary to know the land use in the long run by the using scientific relation. In land use, it necessary to know the use of the land and have the principle to use the land as best as possible. Secondly, strategic goals. The strategic goal is to maintain the ecological function of the soil, improve soil environment agriculture production in ensuring food safety. The objectives of this goal is to increase soil fertility, prevent soil degradation, and reduce soil pollution. In achieving this goal, has resulted in a short term and long term. In the short term, it has improved the structure and mechanism for soil protection, improved science and technology for soil effectively control the flow of soil pollution. In the long term, which then the target in 2050 will generally reduce soil pollution and stabilize soil degradation trends and largely improve soil ecological function and environmental quality. Lastly, improve the policy and increase investment for combat the soil degradation. Policy implemented by the government to ensure the problem of degradation and soil pollution can be solved through support from the community. Every policy that is done by the community must be followed so that objectives to solve this problem can be achieved. The government will increase fund for preventive land as a financial source of community by investing fixed asset in agriculture. So food production can be produced in large quantities and ensure food nutrient in a good condition.
Next, I will summarize the diagram of health analysis and pathway. So based on the diagram, it shows the issues of soil degradation that is affecting the food security in China. There are three main issues. The first one is the usage of chemical fertilizers. The second one, health issues among the citizens. And the third one is lack of awareness. All these issues can lead to the challenges that China will face if they are not being tackled properly. Hence, along with the diagram, there are two solutions provided, which is upstream and downstream intervention. Upstream intervention can be defined as the involvement of policy approaches that have the potential to influence the people at large through rules and regulation, increasing access or economic incentives. Meanwhile, downstream intervention means it involves with the behavioral approaches in the level of individual for prevention and risk management. For upstream intervention, it started creating a special program for food safety. Meanwhile, downstream intervention creating awareness by sharing information and experiences among the local farmers.
Now, I will explain what the intervention from the global. So, one of the global program that has been done is a special program for food safety. The Special Food Safety Program aims to assist low-income food deficit countries in their effort to improve their country food security by increasing sustainability food production productivity in terms of good crops in agriculture, in land specialization, and increase access to food for people. Therefore, among the steps have been taken in the organization, the Special Food Program Safety Program is to increase the net income of farmers, generate employment in rural areas, increase spatial equity. This is one of the programs for farmers to produce enough nutrient in food production and productivity. This action be done, give them an approach using more advanced technology so that food production can be increased and nutrient sustainability in their food. One of downstream intervention for combat soil degradation and ensure food security has been taken by the community in particular areas to ensure the food security can be met by the resident. Among that is the have the group which called the agriculture biodiversity community. They have in a group of members who have extensive experience in many fields under the scope of agriculture biodiversity. This group has started in 2011 for the first time in Tika, Kenya, which is the East Africa. This group are having many communication as well as other effort among various network into a functioning for the biodiversity agriculture. Um, this is one of the non-governmental organization that cares about the safety so the nutrient can be released on a large scale. This one is one of the steps taken by the community to ensure to get access for this food security. They have says they have many taken to start for the agriculture. As the conclusion, land damage is a global process and occurs to the human activities. Land damage is increasing worldwide, especially in the land of tropics. Lack of nutrient and organic matter is in the soil is the causes of soil damage. Land management need to be improved so that land care can be carried out and ensure that the soil is in good condition. Soil damage often occurs as a result of all hazard due to improper land use. Mismanagement of planting areas that are adapted to the type of soil and environment. Food security needs to be intensive in order to retain nutrient in food. In agriculture, using organic matter is preferred because with this, the method the production of food is good and ensure no soil damage for the biodiversity fields.
So I will explain about the air pollution in Indonesia. According to the UNO-KIM 2017, air pollution can be defined as the presence in the atmosphere of one or more pollutions such as smoke, dust, or other in such amounts in which are likely to be harmful towards humans, habitat flora, and property. In fact, polluted air also can result to the respirations affected and lead to the serious illness such as asthma, cough, anemia, and heart disorder, in which it can interfere the heart of lung and the entire of the respiratory system. Therefore, there are several types of pollutants such as carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide, lead, and sulfur oxide that contain in the haze that can result to the environmental issue in Indonesia. The quality of air can be measured by using API, Air Pollution Index. Air pollution index of Indonesia during the haze issue is starting at 101 until 150, in which it categorized as unhealthy for sensitive groups that need to pay more concern on their health. Besides, this category that will be tend to experience the health effect, especially amongst the veterans and children. Indonesia is legally bound with two agreements that are Kyoto Protocol 1997 and Paris Agreement 2015, in which these two agreements is to ensure that they have an effective nation policy in order to reduce the greenhouse gases. In addition, according to the CLARE 2019, stated based on the Air Quality Life Index, Indonesia will definitely lose their 1 or 2 year life expectancy due to fails to in fulfilling the guidelines from the World Health Organizations, and this lead to the health consequences among children. So, to conclude the data, 2016 has reached the level of unhealthy for sensitive group, which 101 until 150 API. 2017 shows that the quality of air is under control due to the initiative taken by the government as well as the society. The air quality index rapidly increased in 2018, in which it needed to serious actions due to the API almost reached the stage of unhealthy, whereby it will affect each of them to diagnose a serious impact. Lastly, 2019, whereby the quality of air from moderate changed to the unhealthy or sensitive group, in which it will rapidly increase from 2018, and this lead to the consequences of the society on Indonesia instead of involving some Asian countries affected such as Thailand, Malaysia and Singapore. Next, I will proceed with the issues of air pollution in Indonesia. As we know that Indonesia is a large country that consists of high population density, in which it will contribute to the amounts of the consumptions that lead to the environment issue. Last year, Indonesia recorded unhealthy air quality status by measuring using API, in which as a countries such as Malaysia, Thailand and Singapore also affected. Besides, haze occurs in Indonesia due to the human's activity such as waste burning, forest fire, transport as well as industrial activities. This shows that according to the Greenpeace Indonesia stated that during 2015 there is Indonesian crisis whereby around 500,000 people suffered from experience of respiratory illness. According to the UNICEF, approximately 2.4 million children below age of 5 mostly affected by the haze and wildfire because they tend to get sick easily due to the physical defense immunity system is not fully developed. Furthermore, according to the Indonesia Weather Agency, in a statement stated that approximately 1,547 hotspots that can be detected in 6 regions, including involving parts of the island Sumatra, Borneo, in which have been increased over the past few weeks, where these hotspots are cause of increased risk of fire even if it's rain. Besides, the release of the smoke through the burning of the forest fire will affect the more region depending on the directions of the winds, and people have to be careful of the smoke. Moreover, the factor that contributes to the unhealthy air quality is due to often forest fire activity by using the method slash and burn, in which it becomes as a norm because this method is not incurred a lot of money in order to fertile soil for growing agriculture purposes, and this will lead to the incidence of transboundary haze that affect Asian countries. In fact, the El Nino climate pattern in previous year make it worse, especially during the forest fire season, because according to the Indonesian Ministry of Education and Culture stated around 7.8 million students was affected and urged over 46,000 schools forced to close due to the poor air quality. Therefore, several neighbor countries were also affected by the haze due to forest fire, in resulting the diplomatic tensions between Indonesia and Malaysia affected. For instance, during 2018, Malaysia had reached the API of unhealthy levels, in which resulting a lot of schools in the regions impact to be closed. So next, I will proceed about the options for interventions. The governance of Indonesia should improve their strength by implementing several programs related to the environment, especially air pollution, because this is due to the weakness of their governance. as we can see that Indonesia is often encouraging the slash and burn technique due to the payload instead getting off the sideline advantages. And governance should taking into serious of these issues. Environmental policy also should be emphasized. If it is not restored, it will affect the society and economy. For instance, they need to react the law such as increase the punishment of compound so that the strict law can be implemented. Therefore, the polluter will be more careful and afraid to make pollutions because they will be punished if they produce more emissions in which it can lead to the greenhouse gases and global warming. According to the Ministry of Environmental Indonesia, even though the BAPDUL, Badan Pengendalian Dampak Lingkungan, was established to encounter this problem, it is not work. This is because the weaknesses of the authority. This is because Indonesia having a lack of branches that can help to counter this matter. As a result, polluter is not afraid to the punishment and it is become as a norm in which they can breach the rules and regulations. In addition, the governance in Indonesia also can practice the principles of environmental law by implementing the polluter pays principle or triple Ps in order to ensure that the ecosystem is in appropriate conditions. Besides, the non-governmental organizations, NGO also can collaborate with the society in order to raise the fund in restoring the nature as well as can strike against the air pollutions in which such as the Greta Thunberg, who is the environmentalist activist, has a strike and oppose against the climate change in Australia. Lastly, the collaborations with the United Nations as well as Asian countries is very important. For instance, UNEP and United Climate Actions by UNFCCC can cooperate together by the governance of Indonesia by guiding and monitoring the market agent focus tools. Hence, this will help the Indonesia to practice in purchasing the environmental practice product, whereby it can help to control the environmental issues in Indonesia.
Okay, I will be explaining the diagram of environmental health analysis and pathway for air pollution in Indonesia. This diagram is used to help decision maker in making decisions in order to tackle the problem of air pollution in Indonesia. Okay, according to this diagram, the issues or challenges for air pollution in Indonesia is firstly the exposure of health risk for the society, and second is transboundary haze. Okay, as for the solution, it was divided by two streams, whereby it is upstream and downstream. For the upstream, it involving the integrity of the governance, and for the downstream, it needs the awareness of the society. Okay, the first issue of air pollution in Indonesia is that the exposure of health problem for society in Indonesia. Okay, this is because human inhale air. Hence, the harmful substances that contain in the air will affect the respiratory system for human. Hence, this is why it was reported by the Crisis Mitigation Center of Indonesia on 2019 that was nearly 900,000 Indonesians having breathing problem such as asthma and also acute respiratory problem and also lung problem. Okay, and then the next issue is transboundary haze, which is a common issue that were unsolved ever since 1990s till today, which this affected the neighborhood country Malaysia. Okay, moving on to the solution for air pollution in Indonesia based on the environmental health analysis and pathway. they were divided by two streams, whereby the upstream and downstream. As for the upstream, it was held responsibility to the government to make decision and have integrity to ensure that the environmental health in their country is in good quality. Hence, this will influence the downstream solution, whereby the awareness of the society will arise when government uphold the rules, regulation, policies, program that will make society to realize the importance of having sustainability practices in their lifestyle. In addition, the upstream whereby the government influence the downstream solution, where awareness of society are increased when government enforce series of action in handling pollution. Existence of law and regulation help in ensuring sustainability of environment, where hereby lay the crucial element where enforcement has to be strict to make sure that people aware and practice a good style of life to protect the environment from polluted.
So to conclude that, the governance of the Indonesia must strict the act and strict the law related to the environment, especially slash and burn technique, as well as widespread open burning. This is because to avoid the transboundary haze in which it will affect urgent control. In fact, the governance weaknesses should be addressed in terms of the integrity of the government involving issues of corruptions. Previous year recorded that the air quality is at the levels of unhealthy for sensitive group, in which several regions recorded that the API was reached the 155 and 200, in which it means that everyone will be affected due to the environmental issues. January 2019 reported that 42,000 hectare forest including farmland reported on fire. Malaysia is ready to assist the Indonesia, but Indonesia was refused, and they said they did not read the assistance in order to address the issue because they think they could handle this issue independently. Meanwhile, the air quality in April 2020 recorded by the Nature Climate Change stated that there is a decrease of up to 70% compared to 2019 due to the pandemic crisis COVID-19, and almost 42% was reduced. This is because the action taken by the government to implement the lockdown was really effective because they can reduce the emissions produced by the transportations. As a result, the sky is brighter, then the society can enjoy the moment of the good quality air due to the quarantines of COVID-19, and people started a new norms, which is work from home. Figure shows that the quality in Indonesia is getting better and recovering due to the governments of Indonesia, and has been committed to provide the air quality data for the GEMS program, in which organized by the World Health Organizations. So in order to improve the quality health, the efforts in reducing the air pollution must be emphasized, and it is also can help to reduce the rate of chronic respiratory infections, especially among the veterans and children. By developing a policy related to the environmental law, Indonesia can enjoy the good quality of air, in which it can increase their level of productivity as well as performance of their country towards leading the sustainable developments. That's all from us. Thank you.
That's all from us. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.